people being frustrated about, they're making dials or not having the success that they want. We know you can door knock. We know you can do those things, but being on the phone scripts, those kind, it's a skill. When certain people say certain things, even myself, there's times where they'll catch you off guard. Just so you guys know, full disclosure, I've never purchased a lead before until I got here about 7-8 months ago. So I've also had to go through that learning curve of how many leads. I'm just going to buy 5 or 6 leads, and to go through that whole mental thing. The more leads you buy, the more you're going to help yourself out. So if you suck on the phone, if you buy more leads, you will get better. And that's the reason why we put this in place, is to make sure that we're doing everything we can to help you. For those of you guys that don't know, we have dialing. The National Dialing Day is every Monday and Thursday. And what do I mean by that? Well, you have from typically 6:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central Time, all the way up to like noon. And then I know people get back on and dial into the evening as well. It's a great way for you to get on there and listen to people that are dialing. Top 20, the people that are doing 20, 25,000 or more per month are getting on there and they're making dials. So you can hear them. They don't have to do that. Some that I recommend, you've got, can't remember, Greg Lullifus or something. I can't remember his name. I'm going to completely butcher it. Zach, that's his name. Zach F. does a fantastic job. He gets on Facebook sometimes, Facebook Live, and he just dials live. I think you can find him on YouTube. Easton Patton is phenomenal on the phone. I think Zach Tradowski has some things out there as well that I like. But if you go out there and type out FFL, phone dialing or phone scripts, those kind of things, guys, you're going to find all kinds of stuff. But you're not going to get good at this just listening. You have to get on the phone. You're going to get beat up. You got to make the dials. You got to make the calls, right? Okay, so that's that kind of the psychology around it. If you're desperate, and in your mind you're desperate to set that next appointment, I promise you, the person's going to hear that over the phone. 100%, they're going to hear it, and it's going to cause you to set less appointments. So the first thing I do, other than having my script in front of me, the first thing I do is I have my license. What I'm going to do when you start setting the appointment and locking the appointment down is I'm going to give them my license number so they can write it down. That's going to help with your no-show rate. That's the first thing. Now you're going to do all this stuff. You're going to do everything. You're still going to have people that aren't going to show. It's just part of the business. You can't get frustrated by that. And I know if you're new to this, you're trying to figure this thing out, and it's tough. I get it. The second thing is making sure when you make that dial, which we're going to talk about here in a few seconds, so I'm going to have you guys throw objections at me. I'm just going to answer them the best I can. But the second thing is I'm going to ask you guys what you guys are saying and what you're doing when you're making the dials as well. So first thing is I'm going to put the script up on the screen. Okay. You guys see that?
Yeah.
Perfect. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to have Todd. Todd, you're going to be my person I'm calling. Todd,
okay.
You there?
Can you hear?
Yeah. Yes, sir. We can hear you. We can hear you loud and clear. Hold on. I just dropped a bunch of leads on the floor. So give me half a second here. Okay. So Todd, you're going to be my customer. You're going to pretend with me on the address, but you can give me whatever objection you want to give me. Okay. All right. So actually, it's funny because the name on this script is Todd. How funny is that? So ring, ring.
He's muted.
Can I answer, Todd?
Hello.
I mean to trip you up, Todd. I know it's 8 o'clock there.
Well, you know you got a triple dial.
That's right.
He didn't answer
So this is the third time I've called him. He finally answered the phone, right?
Hello.
Yeah.
Who is this?
That's about right, isn't it? So first of all, is this Todd?
Yes.
Todd, first of all, before you hang up on me, I want to let you know I'm not a telemarketer. I'm getting back with you about the information you requested for life insurance and final expense. The one where you mentioned your favorite color is burgundy. Do you remember doing that a couple days ago?
Yeah, but you know what? We already got that taken care of.
So when you say you got that taken care of, what does that mean, Todd?
Well, you know, someone came out and, you know, we had the State Farm guy come out.
The State Farm guy. So here's it. And I'm glad you did that, but here's the reason why I need to see you. And that's perfect, by the way. I'm glad you took care of that. State Farm only has State Farm to offer you. Does that make sense, what I just said?
Yeah, but
Okay.
it's pretty good.
And I'm sure he is. I would hope that he is, because otherwise he's got probably your home and your auto and all that kind of stuff done. And that's what he specializes in. Todd, what we specialize in is life insurance. I work with about 20 to 25 different companies. And what we do is we make sure we find the best rate and the best plan for you. The information only takes about 20 to 25 minutes to get to you. And then you can decide if what we offer is the best for you, or if what State Farm offered you. If you did put a plan in place, I'm happy to take a look at it for you to make sure you're in a good plan, a good premium, and to make sure it's exactly what you thought that you wanted. Todd, I'm going to be in your area, and it looks like the information you provided is 1040 Olney Drive, zip code 63136. I got you at 59 years old. You're a non-tobacco user, so congratulations there. It looks like you put down you're looking for about $20,000 worth of coverage, and your daughter is going to be your beneficiary. So does tomorrow or Wednesday work for you for about 20, 25 minutes?
Do you have to come out?
Absolutely. And here's why, because a lot of times, and believe it or not, I'm sure you've heard of fraud before, right? People do try to buy coverage in other people's names, believe it or not. That's why we have to see you, make sure you're not strapped down to a bed, or make sure you're not as big as an elephant.
Well,
Yeah, it takes about 20 to 25
I'm about as
minutes,
big as a
Todd.
horse.
Well, horses, we can get qualified. Elephants is a different thing.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
Wednesday
why don't you come
Tuesday
out
or
on,
Wednesday?
how about Tuesday?
Perfect.
It'd
Are
have
you a
to be
morning?
in the evening.
In the evening? I prefer that, actually. I'll make you one of my later ones. What time do you get off work, Todd?
7:30.
Perfect. You want to make it about 8:30? That way you can come home and stretch out a little bit and have some dinner before I get there.
All right.
Perfect. Hey, Todd, real quick, is there anyone else that needs to be there for you to make a decision tomorrow at 8:30?
No,
Okay.
I'm
perfect.
divorced.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I hate that too. So am I. Here's the deal though. Looks like let's only, so that's a house, right?
Yeah.
And will I find that 10410? Will I find that on the house mailbox, or will I find out on the street? Where will I see that address?
On the curb.
Okay, curb. Do I park in the driveway or do I park on the street?
Yeah, you can park in the driveway.
Okay, driveway. Can you do me a huge favor? I know you're not going to want to do this. Can you grab a piece of paper and a pen real quick? I have some information I have to give you.
Sure.
Let me know when you're ready.
All right, go.
Perfect. Okay. So what this is my state security code and my license number. And that way, when I get there, you'll know it's me. I'm as tall as I am wide, and I'm bald with a beard. I look like The Rock. All right. So when The Rock pulls up in your driveway, you'll know I'm there. You can smell what The Rock is cooking. All right.
All right.
All right. My security code is 640.
All right. 640
5962.
5962.
And thank you for repeating that. I get a little dyslexic from time to time. Again, I'm about 6 foot tall. I'm bald with a beard. Like I said, I look like The Rock, so I'll be very distinguishable. I drive a white SUV. Are there any big dogs or gate codes or anything like that I'll need to contend with when I get there?
Now watch out for the Chihuahua.
Oh, I like them. I like them. I'm not going to say why, because I'll get myself in trouble, but I'm going to kick one across the room, right? And I'm just kidding. So you got my security code. You know I'm driving a white SUV. I know you said the address is on the curb and it's okay to park in the driveway. All right. From one professional to another, is there any reason you won't be there tomorrow at 7:30? I know I said 8:30 a minute ago, but 7:30.
No.
Okay, perfect. Because I have about 8 to 10 families to see. And even though you're later in the evening, I'll make sure I'll be respectful of your time. And like I said, I'll try to keep it at that 20, 25 minutes. If I'm there any longer, only because you've asked me to stay. So I appreciate you writing that down. I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow at 7:30. If you need anything or things change, please just reach back out to me at this number. Thanks, Todd. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to helping your family tomorrow.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. So any questions or critique with that, guys? Because we'll just kind of go around the horn, or anything that you guys do different that works.
The
Come on,
only
y'all.
problem, yeah, the only issue that I have most times is I can hardly get through the first paragraph before they've already hung up on you or just said something outrageous. Like the rest of it, like setting, when you get home from work and all those kind of things, that seems to flow easy. Once you get past that first part, it's like, so I need to figure out how to get past that first part.
Got a couple solutions for you.
Okay.
So here's the deal. Okay. So let's, if you guys might want to write this down, because I'm telling you, this will help you. And I only know this. I'm only telling you guys stuff that I've done and things that I've listened to on trainings and everything else. Now, some of this I made up, but it does. Some of it works, some of it doesn't, but that's okay. It's trial and error, right? So when somebody, and let's face it, you guys, you're going to get hung up on. It's just a part of it. Some people are just jerks. It's part of the process. When I say hi, is this, so ring, Kathy.
Hello.
Ring. Yes. Is this Kathy?
Yeah. Who's this?
Kathy, first of all, I'm gonna let you know, my name is Corey. I'm not a telemarketer. I'm getting back with you about the information you requested for life insurance at final expense. You remember doing that?
No, I didn't do that.
Yeah, a lot of people tell me that because they forgot that they actually did it. But here's the deal. Looks like
no, I don't have time to talk right now. I'm on my way to work.
And actually, Kathy, actually, neither do I. That's why I'm just trying to get in contact with you right now. Looks like you put down your last name is Libra. Your address is 1040 Only Drive. And you're 59 years old looking for $20,000 worth of coverage. It'd be pretty hard for me to have all that information, and your beneficiary is your daughter unless you sent that in. And you mentioned your favorite color was burgundy. Miss Libra, I'm not trying to bug you. I'm just trying to get the information to you and set up a time to get together with you. So any reason why you wouldn't be home tomorrow, either today or tomorrow, for about 20-25 minutes for me to get the information to you?
I'm really busy this week. Can you kind of call me next week, like after the holidays or something?
Let me ask you a really quick question, Ms. Lieber, if that's okay. I want to be respectful. There's three reasons why people fill out this form. 3 reasons. The first thing is they don't have life insurance. The second thing, they don't feel like they have enough. Or the third thing, somebody you know and love just passed away. Why did you complete this?
Probably I don't think I have enough.
And that's a lot of the reasons why, Kathy, why people complete this. So if you don't feel like you have enough, our expiration, we could die at any time. You'd agree with that, right?
Right.
So if we wait until next week, and I'm not wishing this on you, and something happens, who's the person that's going to pick up the pieces when you're not here?
Yeah, that would be my daughter.
And what's your daughter going to do if you don't get the more coverage that you think that you want to put in place? What happens to her?
Yeah, it won't be good.
Absolutely. So here, again, I'm not trying to fight with you. I'm just trying to get the information that you completed. And I wouldn't have this information unless you sent it out to us. Again, I have some time tomorrow or Wednesday. It takes 20 to 25 minutes. I promise I'll be in and out. If it's for you, great. If not, that's okay too. Does tomorrow or Wednesday work best for you?
Let's just do Wednesday then.
Wednesday. Are you so it sounds like you're working. So you're an afternoon or evening person?
Evening.
Evening. Okay. Why would we make you my last appointment today? Any reason you wouldn't be home by like 8 o'clock, 8:15?
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay, perfect. And then we're going to go through all the other stuff that we just went through. So You guys see what I did to try to flip her? Because you're going to get that. The more you practice this, the better you'll get at it. Now, do I sound like I'm nervous when I'm going through this? Honestly?
No.
And I guarantee you guys are making a hell of a lot more dials than him. I promise you are. I think when we get nervous, and obviously you're going to get hung up on, I think when we get nervous and they throw that objection at us, we go, oh my God, and we instantly lock up. And then guess what? We wasted an opportunity of somebody that actually got on the phone. Think about it like this too. How many dials do you make where you actually make a contact with someone?
Not very many.
Exactly. And then you get somebody on the phone and they throw an objection at you, and you're you tighten up, right? And you freak out, and then you blow it. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, they answered.
They answered the phone, right?
Right.
And that's a part of it. So that's why I'm saying these objections and stuff that we're getting, they're smoke screens. Because Kathy, you were trying not to set an appointment with me, and I still did. Todd, the reason I started with you, and I wanted you to be tough because I knew you would, because you and I just got off the phone. The reason I started with you because I knew you were going to be trying to be tough for me, and you still set the appointment with me. I've done these trainings before where I tell people, don't set an appointment with me. By the time we get down about a minute or so later, they're setting the appointment with me. I will tell you guys this too, from a training perspective, the longer you're on the phone, the more questions you're going to have to answer, and nothing good happens on the phone. You're not trying to sell somebody over the phone. You're not.
Right.
You're just not. Your whole objective is to set the appointment. If somebody says, can you give me a quote over the phone? I've heard people give quotes over the phone. It makes me cringe because they're never going to meet with you.
Right. Because they've
You
already
gave
got
them the information and they're not going to meet with you. I'm telling you
Right.
straight up, 98% of them won't do it. So let's see. I'm not trying to put you guys on the spot. You guys can listen to me all day, stumble through this stuff. So if you guys want to, if one of you guys wants to jump up and try it, I'm okay with that. There's nothing bad here. So one of you guys want to try?
Go ahead, Todd.
Come on, Todd, you got it.
I don't wanna.
Come on, Todd.
Oh,
He's like, why did I
Well,
get on this call?
Yeah, I know. So Corey, though, that was very helpful. Sorry, Todd, but that was very helpful what you just did, because I get a lot of, can you call me back next week after the holiday? And so that's whenever I kind of freeze up. I didn't really know what to say. And I've always known about those 3 reasons that people don't have it. They don't have enough, they don't have any, or somebody just died. So I never really thought about putting that in that spot.
You got to freeze them. You have to.
Yeah, because it's like, I really didn't have an answer for, can you call me back next week? So, but it'd be like, sure,
Yeah.
It's,
Now, let me ask
Yeah.
you a question, Kathy. And I know because you and I talk all the time.
yeah.
I'm going to poke at you here for a second. How many of those you call back? Because I've said this, and I'm not being negative. How many of those that you set that said, call me back after the holidays, and you called them back after the holidays, have you actually sat with?
A couple, 2 or 3. As a matter of fact, I got one set today that was a door knock from a couple weeks ago, and she said, call her back, and I did. But it's not, the appointment didn't get set till next week because she wants it after the holiday. So
And I
on
guarantee
paper.
you after the holiday, something else will come up. So my point
Right.
is, I said, how many did you actually set an appointment and actually sit with?
Maybe 2.
So, and here's my point, guys. And I'll throw this analogy at you. I'm going to throw Macy's out there. I'm probably aging myself because I don't know if there's even many of those still open. Macy's clothing store. Let's call it what it is. Macy's department store. You walk into Macy's, you're looking for Nike ankle high socks. Kathy, you've heard me say this a million times.
Mm-hmm.
You walk in there and you're looking for Nike ankle high socks. You haven't a clue in the world where they're at, right? You walk in, young person walks up to you and says, can I help you? What do you say?
No, just looking.
Just looking, and you know exactly why you went in there. Guys, we're programmed. We're programmed to do that. Just like these people are programmed when you call them to say, don't need it, don't want it, already got it taken care of. We see it all the time where people, Kathy, you've done that since you've been here, where somebody said, I got it taken care of. Because guess what? Somebody came out there last week and quoted them and it was too much, or they didn't qualify and they don't want to go through the process again.
Yeah.
It happens. And the more you practice this, the more you go through these objections, you're going to create your own, even though you have this script in front of you. And Kathy, you just said it. Once you get the time and the date set, everything else is just, are there any dogs? Are there any gate codes? Where's
the rest of
where do you want me
it's
to park? Where do you want me to take
It's
my
the
shoes
first
off when I get there?
0.25%.
Exactly. So this first paragraph, your entry of anything is the most important thing that you're going to do. Everything else, my 15-year-old daughter could do the rest of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where you need to practice. That's where you need to spend your time. That's where, even if you have to write the objections out, you're only going to get a couple objectives when you're making dials. And if you throw that no time, or well, that's not the one I want to tell you, but either they don't have enough, they don't have any, or somebody they know and love just passed away. They filled out the form. Why else would they have filled out the form? Give me the 4th reason why they could have filled out this form. I'll wait.
The 4th reason that they filled it out?
Yeah, give me a 4th reason why they completed that. They don't have
They
any.
didn't realize they were filling it out. I was just messing around online and I didn't know they was going to send somebody out.
So let me ask you a question then, Miss Libra. If you didn't know that, you just said you didn't know they were going to send somebody out, which means you were looking for coverage. Is that correct?
Yeah, kind of. I just wanted to quotes though.
So here's the deal. So let's pause for a second. Then that still means, off script here, that still means they were looking for coverage, right?
Right.
There you go. So now you're right back into script. So you've heard of the movie or the Wolf of Wall Street, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Sell me the pen.
Yeah, exactly. Sell me a pen, but that was created way before him. But here's the deal though. There's another thing with that. He has created a selling system that's made him millions of dollars. It's called the straight line selling system. I highly recommend that book, by the way, Straight Line Selling System. And there's all kinds of trainings and all that. And what he says was, Jordan, what he says is, as you're going down the process, like you're going through this straight line, but every time the client does something that pulls you off your script, it's taking you off that center line. You got to do everything you can to get back, because you're trying to get from point A, sitting down with them, to point B, them signing and giving you a check. That makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what you just said, the objection you just threw at me was, what did you say? I already have it, or I'm not interested, or whatever. What did
I
you
didn't
say?
realize what I was filling. I didn't know they were going to send somebody out.
And people say this. They go, I didn't realize that. I didn't know what I was filling out. I didn't realize they're going to send somebody
I
out.
don't remember.
Smoke screen. It's a lie.
Right.
And you just said the lie and then answered your own question. I didn't realize what I was filling out. I didn't realize they were going to send somebody out. You're lying. Yeah. You just didn't realize they were going to send somebody out. You knew what you were filling out.
Right.
And you don't have to punch them in the mouth, but what you need to do is go something like around like what I just said. Well, if you completed the information, you weren't really sure what you filled out. Again, a lot of times, a lot of my clients do that. You don't want to make them feel bad. But the reason they filled it out, Ms. Libra, is three things. They either don't have enough coverage, they don't have any at all, or somebody they know and love just passed away. Which of those is it for you? You will freeze people with that. And the more they're talking, the better off you are, because they're answering questions to set an appointment.
Mm-hmm.
Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
What other
I
objections
actually
you
had a
guys
guy
getting?
do that to me yesterday
Uh-huh.
whenever I was door knocking. Just turned around and walked back in his house.
Now, see,
I
did
didn't
he
know
close
was
the
gonna send
door?
somebody else. Oh yeah, he did.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would have
No,
knocked on his
I
door.
wasn't
Dude.
even-
That's just me. I don't
What'd you
do
say?
rude people. I don't do rude people. I just don't. If he'd have closed the door in my face, I'd have knocked on his door again. Just me. I probably got a gun in my face or something.
Oh.
Those people that act like that, guys, they're just scared they're going to buy something. Those are your biggest buyers. That's all. And here's the deal. I will say this over and over and over again. I'm only telling you from experience. Don't take that stuff personal. You don't know them. They don't know you, even if they're jerks like that. And most people, when you go out and you do that, even if they tell you no, they're going to be nice. Most of them. 95% of those people are going to be nice. It's that other 5%, right? It's the rabble rousers. It's the ones that's throwing rocks, and it gets to us, and it kind of shakes us a little bit. But the more you guys practice this stuff, the better off you're going to be, the more appointments you're going to set. I promise you. What other objections you guys are getting that I can try to help with?
No, I didn't.
Well, no, go ahead.
I didn't fill that out. I don't remember. but I guess you already answered that one, but I hear those.
And here's the deal. You're not going to get them all. If they go, I didn't fill that out. And I will immediately go into, if I got the lead in my hand, which I always have the lead in my hand every time. And I'm just a weirdo like that. It's worth the ink to me. I'll print it out so I have it. Here's another thing, little small suggestion. When you're taking notes on the leads, right on the back of the lead, you don't want to get there and it looks like Blair Witch on the front of the lead. Right on the back of the lead. Here's another little tip. This is a fun one. You guys will appreciate this. If you're running late for appointments, literally, so today is 6:28 or whatever the date is. I've done this before. Let's say I've been like an hour late because you're with somebody and you're writing an app, and you're doing all that kind of stuff. What I'll do is write 6:28 and I'll write the time on the corner, because most people don't write the stuff down anyway, even if they remembered you were coming. So let's say the appointment was at 7 and I get here and it's 7:23. So Kathy, I'm going to knock on your door and I'm here for the appointment. Okay. And I'm late. Okay. And you're pretty certain you had the time right. So I'm going to knock on the door.
Hello.
Hey, Kathy, I'm Corey. I'm here for our life insurance appointment this evening. How are you?
I'm good, but you were supposed to be here about an hour ago and I got to go.
About an hour ago? Really?
Yeah.
No, look,
Yeah,
here's the information. Here,
I had you down for
take
like
this off the screen.
6:30.
Hold on one second. Let me take this off the screen so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay. No, I have it. I have it right here, and I'll write it right in the corner before I get there. I'll write 7:30, and I'll write 6:28, 7:30, and I'll go. No, I got it right here. This is when they had me come out, or this is when I was supposed to be meeting with you. Works 10 out of 10.
Yeah, because then they think that they wrote it down wrong.
It works 10 out of 10. I'm
Yeah.
telling you. That's the only thing I write on this until I sit down and start going through the stuff and then going through their inventory form. So, and there's going to be times you're going to be late. I will tell you guys, love the one you're with. If you're sitting there with somebody, you're writing an application, you want to be as professional as you can. I know you hear a lot of people say book every hour on the hour. I consider myself a professional, and I don't like being late to stuff if I can avoid it. Obviously, we've all been late. I book every 90 minutes, every 75 to 90 minutes I'll book to give myself time to drive. But I'll also do Route for Me or Road Warrior are two fantastic apps to make sure that you're not, if you're door knocking, that kind of stuff, you're not wasting time. But I also try to look when I'm dialing to make sure I'm dialing and being kind of in the same area. So I'm no more than about 20, 30 minutes away from each one of my places.
Hey,
That's very helpful. Yeah.
I was gonna let you guys know too. There's a Road Warrior, but there's also an app called Circuit.
Circuit.
Yeah, and it goes off of Google Maps. It's pretty good. Because I've tried both.
Well, I've never heard of that one. Thank you. Okay. I'm currently using Road Warrior right now, and I have no idea why, because I love Route for Me, but maybe a little bit change.
I use Road Warrior, and it's very good for me. Okay,
Yeah.
so another objection that I get a lot is, I'm not interested, but thanks.
That's perfect. I'm not sure you should be, but what are you not interested in, Kathy?
I'm just no longer interested, but thanks.
Not interested in what though? I'm not trying to be oppositional. I'm just asking what you're not interested in.
Click.
Life insurance. I don't need any.
You don't need any life
plenty.
insurance?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you a really quick question before I let you go, because I know you're getting ready to hang up the phone. I mean, that's okay. And then what I'm going to say is, there's a couple reasons why people complete these forms, Kathy.
Mm-hmm. And then you're going to go right back into that.
I'm right back into the straight line,
Yeah.
right? And then I'm going to
Right.
let them get off the straight. And some of them are, you're right, Todd, some of them are going to hang up on you, but it's being different. Everybody that's calling them, think about this. My phone rings nonstop. It's rang like 4 or 5 times since we've been on here right now. Literally, I have 4 different messages since we got on here right now. One of the numbers, I don't even know who it is. The other ones I do. But here's the deal. We get phone calls all day long. Seniors, they fill out these forms and their phone gets lit up, right? So they're not answering their phone. And then they happen to answer your call. Go over their information. Yes, 25% of them are going to hang up on you. That's okay. Don't focus on that. Focus on the other 75% and focus on their information. Yeah, I'm not. Go ahead and say what you said, Kathy. You're not interested?
Yeah, I'm not interested.
No, I'm not sure you should be, Kathy. The information that you put down on the phone, the form knows I have your address is 10401 Only Drive, 63136, shows you're 59, non-tobacco user. And it looks like your daughter would be the beneficiary. So you either don't have enough coverage, just in my experience, you don't have any at all, or somebody you know and love just passed away. Which one is it?
Yeah, then you just go right back into that.
I go right back. And those 3 questions, it's not a yes or no.
Right.
If they're going to hang up on you, Greg Birch, Zach Trudowski, Easton Patton, these guys are selling $100K a month. They're selling 25, 30,000 a month. They get hung up on. Can't focus on that. I mean, they do.
Yeah.
They'll tell you straight up. I guarantee if you get on right now and pull up Easton Patton on YouTube and listen to his stuff, he gets hung up on all the time. I guarantee it. But when they ask him an objective, he's done it so many times that it just comes out of him. These objections that you guys are talking, I'm making them up right now as I go, I swear to you. But I've dialed so many calls and I understand the psychology of when somebody says that to me, it's BS. They completed the form.
Yeah, there's really only 4 or 5 objections you get over.
That's it. That's it.
I'm not interested. I've already got it. I don't have time right now. I don't remember filling this out. How'd you get my information? Or they just hang up.
Right. And I've had people say, how'd you get my, well, I got your information because you or somebody in your household filled it out. There's no way I have this information. And some of them, you even have their email address and everything else. And I have the people that, how'd you get my information? I'm like, well, you filled it out or somebody in your house did. I don't know if you did or not. And if it wasn't you, somebody in your house loves you because they want you to get protected.
Yeah.
And then I just go over the information. So people are going to tell you all the time that I didn't fill that out. Yes, they did.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah. Yeah.
What else you guys got? This is easy. You guys are making this easy on me. And I appreciate it. Anything else? You guys tell me you're struggling on the phone and you don't have anything to say now?
That
doesn't make sense.
But you know, it's really because I was talking to you about this before we got on, and then Kathy said it while we're here. It's literally that first little paragraph. If you can get past that,
it's over.
You know, you can set the appointment. It's fine. But what I've
have
noticed,
to say something. You got to say something to shake them, not them shake you. And I don't mean that to be negative. What I mean by that is if they throw an objection at you, it's one of those 4 or 5 things that Kathy just mentioned. The one that works very simply, if you'll master that one, in my opinion, if you'll master that one, the other ones will start to come. Ask them a question they cannot, if that doesn't feel comfortable for you to say those 3 things, come up with something that you can ask them that's not a yes or no question. Practice that. When you're talking to family and friends and loved ones and boyfriends and girlfriends and stuff like that, start practicing asking them questions that they can't say yes or no to. No, I got good at that because I have a teenager. And everything I ask her, she just says, nope, nope, nope. And then there's even times when she's told me, I know what you're doing. So Kathy knows my daughter, so she's a trip, but yeah,
well,
go ahead, Kathy.
Even whenever the first thing is I'm not a telemarketer. I'm the local field underwriter, you know, and getting back to you about your request for life insurance information. As soon as you say those words, life insurance information, I think that's when their brain just clicks and you can't hardly get out the
Pause. Hold on. Great. I'm glad you said that. I'm getting back with you about the information you requested. Take life insurance out.
Okay.
That's a suggestion. Now, at some point, you're going to have to get back there. But we've already agreed. You're just trying to, all of you guys, except for, it sounds like she's at a ball game or something, or running around with kids, Jen. But here's, I'm kind of poking fun at her a little bit. All of you guys, just Kathy and Todd, you both just said the last 75% of this after do not pause. Everything else you guys said was easy.
Mm-hmm.
Todd, do you agree with that for the most part? Okay. So what you have to change is what's not working. The bottom 75% of this, and what have I been saying the whole time? It's the 25%.
Right. It's the beginning.
Right. It's the beginning. So make sure you say, I'm not a telemarketer. If they go, I already got it taken care of, that's perfect. That's just the reason I'm calling.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if somebody said that, that's kind of the opposite of what aren't you going to go, that's not what I said. That doesn't even match what I just said. I said I had it taken care of. You see how that freezes somebody for a second?
Yeah.
And then you can go into their information. If you're getting hung up on, or as soon as you say life insurance, they go, even though they filled it out, change it. There's nothing on here that has to be ironclad. Cat, ring.
The recent request you submitted for information, and you would say final expense.
Ring.
Hello?
Yes, is this Kathy?
Yes.
Kathy, first, I want to let you know I'm not a telemarketer. My name is Corey, and I'm getting back with you about the information you requested. The one where you mentioned your favorite color was burgundy.
Okay, just the information you requested. Okay.
If you're running into every time you say life insurance, they hang up. Switch it. Go ahead, Ty.
But then the very next question they're going to have is, what is this about?
Exactly. Then you can go back into it. So instead of you saying life insurance and them hanging up, you're getting a few more seconds on the phone to keep this thing going so you can get to the other 75%. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
If you guys are saying life insurance, as soon as you say state regulated life insurance programs, burial and final expense, and they go, click, change it.
Yeah, right.
So Kathy, I'm getting back with you about the information you requested. The one where you said your favorite color was burgundy. And then Kathy says exactly what Todd said. What did Todd just say?
I don't know. I wasn't listening. I was writing. What did you say?
I'm sorry.
What is this about again?
Oh yeah, what's this about?
Todd, I'm glad you asked. It's the information you requested for life insurance and final expense. The one where I have your address. Now, let's pause for just a second. That first part of that, now I'm into the next 75%. You see what I just did there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you would say the one where I have your address at blah, 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 and your date
You're
of
into
birth
the
is
next
that.
75%. All you guys keep telling me you're getting hung up on in the first quarter. Just change it. Just modify what you're doing. Is this Kathy? Yes. Great. Kathy, my name is Corey. I'm not a telemarketer. I'm getting back into contact with you about the information you requested. The one where you mentioned your daughter. If it doesn't have color, if it doesn't have whatever, if you say the one where you mentioned your daughter is your beneficiary. If you don't have a beneficiary, you don't have a color, the one where you mentioned you're 59, your birthday is 11/6 of 43. The one where you mentioned your address is 10/4. Just pick something.
Okay, so you can say, instead of saying like, I need to come, I need to verify your information, and you do the address and date of birth, you could say where you mentioned your date of birth is da da da.
Isn't that what this says? The purpose of my call is to confirm the information you gave me.
Yeah,
Same thing. I'm just saying it a little bit differently.
right. But that's the
And
little tweaks that,
that's the little tiny little tweaks
yeah.
that'll make a huge difference. Go ahead, Todd.
So then obviously, after you get that out, and if
Follow
they
the
give you
script.
another objection, you say,
What?
you know,
Okay.
like,
what other objection did you get?
we already took care of that.
That's perfect.
And you just say,
That's,
well, perfect. And then you go into your rebuttal
there you go.
and bring it back.
There you go. Back to the straight line, right? They're trying
Yeah.
to pull you away from the line. You're trying to come back. Your comeback is the script until you get good. Once you get good, it's just going to sound like a conversation. I always have my script next to me, guys. I hardly use it. Now, I'm not telling you guys to do that. I'm telling you'll get to the point after you've made about 300 or 400 dials, that script, I could do that script in my sleep. Now, it's not going to be word for word, but I guarantee you. Here's another thing. And I'm just throwing this out there. You guys can take it or leave it. The information you requested for the Senior Benefits Center of St. Louis, Missouri. Now, Kathy,
Where's
you
that
don't live that
office
far
at?
from center. Where in the hell is the Senior Benefits Center of St. Louis, Missouri?
Yeah, I would never say that.
Don't say
No.
that. Because if you don't feel comfortable saying things, guys, don't say it. This script is merely just put together to give you a framework of which to run on. Just like we just made that tweak. Again, we're focused so heavy on that top 25%, but we already said the bottom half, the bottom 75, you've got mastered. Or at least it's enough where it's common sense, right?
mm-hmm.
So listen to what the client's telling you. Here's another thing, saying perfect every time. I don't care what they say. You say perfect, it's going to be enough to freeze them for a second. It's going to be enough to slow you down as well. So you can hear what they said, give yourself a chance to make a logical answer back to set the appointment. Remember, nothing good happens on the phone. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. What else you guys got? We're at 37 minutes. I like try to keep these at 30, but I'll keep going till you guys want me to stop. I got nothing but work to do. So Todd, is this helping? Because you sound more energized than you did when we first got on.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically what we kind of talked about before, but yeah, it's just basically, I'm going to buy that book, by the way, that straight line book.
Dude, it's so good. It's
Straight line system.
Straight line cell system. Yeah. Wolf of Wall Street.
So after you say, or after you get their information or whatever, right? Because you want them answering questions versus you answering questions. You could, because I'm having a hard time. Like, do I just, well, let me back up. I'm starting over my words. Should I take out some of that script? Like, for example, I'm the local field underwriter. My job is simple because we work with so many companies and our plans are non-medical. I have to come out and verify that you are a live breathing person. And then I would say, are you still working or retired, to kind of give me an idea of where I should place them in my my timeline or whatever. I just lost my stinking question there. But
well,
if I'm rebutting something, should I just go straight down? Because it seems like, after I rebuffed and we verified or whatever, then I should go straight into scheduling.
Great. Now, here's what you said, and I was hoping you would get there. That's why I was sitting here and being quiet for once in my life. If you go right all the way up to the first paragraph, I heard you laughing, Kathy, where it says client name, that's the first paragraph. Second paragraph is the purpose. Third one is let me ask. The fourth one is good news. If I get through that first 25%, holy cow, I can take a deep breath, and I got through the information and they verified the information, right? After that, I'm going to try to set the appointment. They verified everything and they didn't tell me buzz off.
Okay.
So do I need and again, this is put here, guys, don't get paralyzed by the information. This is put here to help give you a framework. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Cause
your objective is to set the appointment. There's no reason on God's green earth I'm going to go over the fourth paragraph if I'm getting into the situation where I'm setting the appointment. I'm not going to do it. That's just me though. Right. Now, if they say, if I have to go into that and they go, well, do you have to come out? Good news is there's dozens of options that you can qualify for. Thankfully, what we do is simplified issue. There's no medical, no blood, no, you don't have to pee in a cup. There's no needles. It takes about 20 minutes to go over the information. The reason they have me come out is I'm bald with a beard. So check this out, Todd. Me trying to come out and me trying to give you this stuff over the phone would be like me trying to give you a haircut in a phone booth. Wouldn't work, would it?
No.
Exactly. That's the reason why I need to come out. It takes about 20 to 25 minutes. And here's the other thing. You wouldn't want to make one of the biggest decisions of your life just over the phone with somebody you hadn't met. Is that true?
Yeah.
That's why I need about 20 to 25 minutes of your time. If it makes sense for you and your family, great. If it doesn't, that's okay as well. As I mentioned, what day works best for you? I'm going to be out there in your area on Tuesday and Wednesday. Okay. Kathy's taking more notes. I hear her flipping pages.
Oh, that wasn't me.
That was me.
No.
I'm totally kidding.
But I tell you what, though, you're saying 20, 25 minutes, and that's being more realistic. Whenever I'm listening to those live dials and those people are saying, I only need 5 minutes of your time.
Who
It's
cares?
like, come on.
Who cares?
It's not 5
Guys,
minutes.
when you go out there, I'm telling you, when you go out there and you sit in these people's homes, you and I both know it's not 10 or 15 minutes. You're going to start building rapport and going through. Even if you went in and whipped the thing out, it's going to take you 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So don't say things that aren't true. I don't care what those people say. I know what's true and I know what's not. I know I cannot get this done until I've written applications. My quickest one was 14 minutes. And I'm not saying that to be proud. The lady, we had talked about it. I knew what she wanted. She was a referral. And I went out there, sat down, wrote it. I was in and out in 14 minutes. It was AIG.
Mm-hmm.
So not proud of that. It's not some type of crazy record. It just so happened to be that. But I know I can't get it done within 20 to 25. I can get it done in 20 to 25 minutes. And that's if I go in there, can we sit at the kitchen table? As I mentioned to you, and I say this a lot because, this is for me, this ain't for them. I talk a lot and I know that I do. So I've had to develop skills and I've had to develop some tactics to keep myself on point. So when I go into somebody's home, one of the first things I ask, now I know people say, ask to take off your shoes. I ain't taking off my shoes in somebody's house. I'm just not doing it.
Yeah, I don't ask that part.
But again, it's if you feel comfortable doing that, it's a respect thing. Because I think Todd, I think you were in the military. Sometimes people just feel respectful to do that. If that makes you feel comfortable, if that's you, that's not me. So when I go in the home, I go in and I ask to sit down. Can we sit at the kitchen table? Does it always happen? No, I've ended up on couches. I've ended up on the side of cars or sitting out on awnings or whatever the case is, or patios, that kinds of stuff. But try to get yourself in a spot where you can win and you can help the client, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when I sit, I know this is phone training, but when I sit down at the table, you never want to split a husband and wife. What I mean by that is you don't want to put a husband at one side of the table and the wife at the other. And if you take control and say, hey, you guys mind sitting together? I don't want to sit between you guys. That's disrespectful to me. What do you think they do?
They sit together.
They get up and they move and they sit together. You want them to make that decision together. And then when they do that, when I sit down, the next thing I say is, when we were on the phone, Mr. Smith, I mentioned to you that this process would only take about 20 to 30 minutes. And I want to be respectful of your time. Because what ends up happening, now you're in the home. You've gotten through the phone script. You've gotten to the home. You're halfway home. You're halfway to getting the deal done. So if you go in there and do what you said you're going to do, first of all, you're giving yourself credibility. If you're there any longer, it's only because you've been entertaining them or you're in the process of doing an application or whatever the case is. And guess what? They're all okay with that.
By then they don't even realize how much time.
They don't even realize the time, and they're thanking you so much. And I
Mhm.
wasn't going to set the appointment, but I'm so glad I did. I've been wanting to take care of this, and you're so right. I didn't have, the last couple, I've had 2 people come out here. I never qualified. I'm so thankful that I got this done. I can rest easy now. Kathy, you probably heard all this.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because it just did. And you haven't been here that long. It's the psychology of people, you guys. And sometimes we beat ourselves up with some of this stuff, as opposed to, again, this top 25% is giving you guys so much hell that you're on here on a Monday night with me at 7:45 trying to get some tips.
Mhm.
And that one little tweak that we made about not saying life insurance, you're not lying to them, because you're going to tell them it's life insurance.
But
You're you're repositioning it.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely wrote that down. That is going to be a big change for me, I think. I hope.
It will be. You're still going to get hung up on. It's going to happen.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
I get hung up on all the time. He called names. I don't care. I've been called worse. It's okay.
Okay,
And
so
somebody
whenever
else
you're door
you'll
knocking,
do that. Somebody will yell at you. You go see door knock them the next day. They're nice as pie, and you go sell them. It happens all the time.
haven't anybody
It's
yelled at
us.
you?
Yeah, actually, I was going to ask you about that because
Sure. What's that?
I've got quite a few that have told me no, and I've got a stack of leads I need to go door knock.
I'm not going to answer it. Kathy, answer that if you don't mind.
What was his question? What to do about the door knocks?
No, he's called people that basically told him to buzz off, and now he's contemplating: should I go door knock?
Well, no,
them?
I'm not contemplating. I am going to go door knock them, but
So, what's your question?
I guess how do I approach that? Just how I
You act
normally
like-
would.
You act like it's the first time you saw him or talked to him.
Amen.
All right.
They don't do. Listen, Todd, you're taking this personal. They don't remember you called them. If you call those people tomorrow, they're not going to know you called them. I promise you.
They're not going to remember your name.
They're not going to remember your name. They're not going to remember you called. They're not going to remember the number.
Maybe I am taking it too personal because
I'm telling you, dude, you're taking this too personal.
I'm one of those people that would remember. So, unless it was like
somebody that called you and you said, I'm not interested, and hung up the phone, you didn't give them time to tell you why they called. You just knew you didn't want to be bothered.
Well, all right.
I do better with door knocks because people look me in the eye and
That's
I'm a real
right.
person.
That's
and
right.
I get
Right.
more.
Well, in everything that I've always sold, I've done pretty good because I've been in person.
That's it.
So
That's it. Guys,
it's harder to say no to someone who's.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So anyways.
Yeah, you're taking it. I'm just telling you, dude. I'm just telling you what I see. I could be completely wrong. But the moment we stop taking this personal and realize these people need our help, and we really look at it from that standpoint, somebody hanging up on you, it ain't going to matter. It takes a little while to get those calluses, but I don't care if somebody hangs up on me, because there's somebody else that really does want this coverage, and they're going to go out and they're going to write them, and I'm going to go out and write them. I'm going to make a friend, and then guess what? They're going to pick up the phone and call me and say, hey, can you bring me 100 business cards? This just happened last week. And can you come to our church event July 30th? So I want you to talk in front of the church because everybody there needs life insurance. Just happened. True story. And that lady thought she'd never be able to get coverage. And because she's on 11 medications, was able to get her coverage. We looked at a couple of different things and was able to get her qualified, obviously with AIG. And she was very thankful.
That is very good.
It's awesome. I've had people that I've sat down with that, second policy I ever wrote. Lady's name was Carolyn. I'm not going to say her last name. Lady's name was Carolyn. She lives in the city of St. Louis and went there. Kathy, I know I told you this. 3 different types of cancer. All of them are stage 1. All of them. And, she knew she wanted and she needed life insurance. And they told her, like, you're probably going to live a long time with this. Your life's going to suck because you're going to be in pain all the time and all this other stuff. So she knew she needed to get something in place. Lady's 48 years old. Brain, breast, and lung cancer, stage 1, all of them. And wrote the policy on her. Her grandkids were there. Her daughter Jessica was there, who's a beneficiary in the policy. And she cried when we got done. And even though it was COVID, she asked if she could hug me. And I said, absolutely.
Would you write her with? Did you just
AIG? Yeah, she has 3 active type breast, brain, and lung cancer. Lady's name's Carolyn.
Wow.
And I'm like, how in the world am I getting paid to do this?
Mm-hmm.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
see, that's the joy of the job. What if you get
Correct.
there?
We focus on the other. Again, I say this all the time. We focus on the top. We focus on the 25% that's negative, just like the phone script. That's the shortest part of the whole damn script. Look.
I know.
And
I
we
know.
spend so much time focusing on it because we're making it about us. It's not about us. It's about the people that we're calling. And if you call enough people, you're going to sit down with enough people and you're going to help them. You really will. But we get so, oh my God, I had all these people hung up. And then I just asked you guys about 30 minutes ago, how many people do you actually talk to? Think about that. So you're not talking to that many. And then the few that you talk to, you actually set appointments on. It's just easy to focus on the negative.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we're 7:50. I'm happy to keep going.
This was very helpful.
Good.
Very
Well, I'm
helpful.
glad. I enjoyed doing this for sure. And we'll be back on next Monday. Hopefully you guys got something about it out of it. Tell your friends, because you guys will learn more from your colleagues than you guys will from me. Because some of this stuff, even though I think I'm decent at it, it's hard to reduplicate some of the things that I'm saying. But I'm telling you guys, these scripts work. If you need to move a word or change something or not say the senior benefit sitter of whatever, don't say things that make you uncomfortable or things that you know that aren't real. Mm-hmm. I'm not making things up that aren't real. I don't know where the senior benefit center of St. Louis is. I've never seen it.
Yeah.
But there are state regulated life insurance. I know that for a fact because they have to be vetted, right? So it is what it is.
That was funny though.
Yeah. Anything else? Cool. Well, I hope this was helpful. Thank you guys very much. I'll let you guys get back to your Monday. If you guys need me for anything, I'm just a Slack or phone call away. Have a good evening, guys. Thanks.
Thank you. Have a
You're
good
welcome,
one.
guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.